Welcome, everybody, to this short presentation on what teaching English online is and how to get started. We're having this presentation today as well because we have launched our new mentorship program that we'll be talking about later on. We'll go into a bit of detail about that, but we wanted to do something special for this launch as well. So in this presentation today, we'll be looking at what teaching English online is. So we'll start from scratch. What a career as an online English teacher entails, what you need to teach English online, and how eTEFL online teacher training can help you. So first, some introductions. My name is Jody van der Westhuizen. I'm the guy in the middle there. I currently live in Spain and have so for the last, I don't know now, 16 odd years. I'm an ESL teacher. I've been teaching English as a second language for 14 years. And I've been running eTEFL online teacher training since 2016. So we're into our 5th year now doing that. And I'm joined today by Zander Botha, who is also from South Africa. And Zander, how are you doing?
Good, Jody. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And hello, everyone. Welcome. As Jody said, my name is Zander Botha, and I am from South Africa. I reside in South Africa still, and I'm a very new online ESL teacher. I've only been doing this for about 7 or 8 months, but I've not regretted it for one single moment. So currently I work for an online school as well as teaching private students, and I have the privilege, thanks to Jody, to be heading up the mentorship program that he just mentioned. And I'm very excited to meet, hopefully, many of you in that program. So thank you very much.
Welcome, Zander, and thank you for taking your time to join us today. Okay, let's jump into it then. So we're about to begin. Just a couple of points. Can you make sure that you have no distractions? I have muted my phone and logged out of Facebook. We'll try and keep it as short as possible, around 30 minutes, but probably it'll bleed over a little bit further than that. So if you can't stay till the end, we are recording this, as I said earlier, so I will send you a link of the recording in email afterwards. But if you can stay, please stay until the end, because we do have something special for those that do. We will also have a little Q&A session at the end of it all, where you can ask any questions that we may not have covered. And yeah, just a little reminder again about the presentation being recorded, that if you don't want to appear in any marketing materials or emails in strange people's inboxes, you might want to keep your video off. All right. So let's start right at the beginning. What is teaching English online? So we'll try and go through this as thoroughly as possible, but as quickly as possible. So teaching English online is you, the teacher or tutor, delivering online lessons via video or audio or both to students around the world. These students can be anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this. So you could teach adults or children. You could teach via online schools or companies, or you could teach privately or freelance platforms. You can teach conversational English or lesson-based English, going through slides, for example. So conversational, some students just want to talk to somebody in English and improve their speaking. And others want some structured lesson-based lessons. So PowerPoints, things like this that we're doing right now, for example, in this presentation might be some way of teaching English online for you as well. This is one of our other previous graduates, Helen. You can see by her background that she is more focused on teaching young learners. So she's got children as her students, so that she needs a colorful background and things like that. If you're teaching adults, of course, this isn't necessary. It really depends on whether you work for an online school and what your students are and what they require. So what will you teach your students? English, obviously, but what exactly will you be teaching your students? And this can vary a lot. It depends on whether you work for a school or for yourself. So if you work for one of these online schools, they will provide you with everything you need and all the materials. So they'll tell you, you have a class at this time with this person and you'll be teaching them this. So that's the easy side of things, right? If you work for yourself, of course, what you teach your student will then also depend on the needs of your student, our second point there. So if you're teaching adults and private students, it depends on what they want. What are they looking for? Are they business clients? Are they wanted, do conversational classes? Are they preparing for exams? So what is their needs? That's what you'll be teaching. And you'll also be it'll also be dependent on your skills and experience. A lot of people think that teaching English online is just you teaching little kids from Asia 7 days a week, but it can be literally anything, and you can have any kind of student from anywhere in the world, and you can use your previous experience, especially when you go private. So if you've been in law, for example, you could teach legal English. If you've been a real estate, you can teach that as English. So we'll get into this a bit later on, a bit more detail as well about niche English and specializations, where you can get your own private students and charge more, but you can use that previous experience you have from other jobs and other qualifications to teach English online as well. So for example, we could talk about travel English, legal English, business English, conversational English. You can teach technology, anything like that. So to continue with this, the things that you don't know how to teach are included in our training courses, in our TEFL, TESOL courses. So things like English grammar, or maybe you do know how to teach English grammar, but we'll definitely cover that in our courses for you. Lesson planning, how to plan and structure a lesson so that it flows and you can get the desired result at the end. And then evaluation, for example, is another thing. How do you evaluate your students to see if they've improved, or how to track their progress? How are they retaining what you have been teaching them? So these are important things that teacher training courses need to cover, and that is included in our courses. So how will you teach your students? This picture is pretty self-explanatory. It's usually done over a computer. Most online English teachers have laptops, but anything like that, there are even some platforms where you can teach on your mobile phone. There's a lot of phone-based companies out there as well, where you can just plug in your mobile phone and teach like that. When you're teaching for yourself, for example, privately, there's some video conferencing software that you need to be able to understand and use. Things like Zoom, which is this meeting platform that we're using right now. Skype is another one, Google Meets, anything along those lines. Especially if you have your own private students, you're going to need something like this. When you work for an online school, they will have their own platforms, so their own software. So you just log into the platform from your end, the student logs in from their end, and the lesson continues like that. So you won't need to have any of these extra things. Hardware-wise, you will need a computer with a webcam, an HD webcam, if possible, 720 and above. A headset like the one Zander is wearing, the one I am wearing, which with the background is kind of hidden away, but something with a noise cancelling microphone, and also an internet connection. Very, very important. All right. And the higher the speeds, the better. Another question that we get asked a lot is how much can you earn? And I'm sure that all of you that are interested in teaching English online are interested in this question above all else. All right. So what you can earn really depends on a number of factors. Your qualifications. If you want to work for an online school, do you have a bachelor's degree? Most of these online schools will require that you do. And you don't have to have a bachelor's degree in teaching. It can be in literally anything, botany. They don't care as long as it's a bachelor's degree, plus your TEFL certification. That's another qualification you have. If you teach privately, your other qualifications. If you want to teach, like we mentioned earlier, legal English. Are you a certified lawyer? Are you a real estate agent? You know, what kind of other certifications can you use to improve your profiles? This can also improve your hourly rate. Your experience, life experience is also very, very important, especially with your private students. All right. They want a teacher that can help them. These private students are not overly impressed by thousands and thousands of pieces of paper and certifications that you have. If you can do the job and if you've got the experience that they are looking for, then that's what they want. Are you teaching for an online school or teaching privately? Online schools generally pay on the lower end of the scale. So you could expect anything from $5 to $20, depending on where you are in the world and what school you're working for. But when you teach privately, and the next point on there, your niche, when you start specializing, then you can start charging more, 10, 20, 30. I mean, if you're a lawyer that's focusing on preparing private lawyers, for example, that live in Taiwan, for example, or in richer countries, they can pay you $100 an hour. And there are online teachers that charge that kind of money, depending on your niche. Now, if you're teaching general English to children, you're one of many, many teachers doing that. So your hourly rate is not that competitive, but the more specialized you get, the higher your rate can go. And of course, your hours, that also depends. how many hours can you, or are you willing to commit? The more hours you put into this, like any other job, the more money that you can earn. All right. So if you're only going to work weekends, it's going to be a part-time income for you. If you want to make this a full-time profession, then if you put the hours in, you can definitely do that. On our website, eteflonline.com/teaching online, there's a little calculator there that you can go play around with. This is a screenshot that I've put in here from that very calculator. So I've done some calculations just to have a look at some things. So in the first box, we have the hourly rate. I've put it at $10 on the lowest on the scale. And you're working 1 hour a day, for example. And then the cost of one of our training bundles is included over here so that we can see how long it will take you to earn back that investment. And that's a distinction to be made here, is that it is an investment and not a cost. You're not buying a pair of shoes or a car that will immediately devalue the second you purchase it. This is an investment in your future. The point of this is to earn money and earn that money back and have a long-term career. So for 1 hour a day, for $10, you're earning around 250 US per month. It would take you around 30 days or 29.9 days, as you can see on the calculator here, to earn back that investment. Now, if we've put this up to $20 an hour and you're working 2 hours a day, we're talking $1,000 US a month, which is only 7.5 days. We're talking a week to earn back your investment. And if you pump that up to $30 an hour, now you're going into specialization areas and you're doing exam preparation, or you're doing the niche that you can use from your previous experience, and you're working, say, 3 hours a day, we're talking over $2,000 US a month, 2,250. And that would take you around 3 days to pay back your investment in one of our training programs. All right. So let's talk a little bit about that niche specialization. Or niche, as some people pronounce it. Choosing a niche is very, very important, especially when you're going private. When you're working for online schools, it's not so much an issue, but if you're going your own private students, this is where you want to be looking to help you earn more money. Like I said, if you specialize, the pool of students that are going to be interested in your services is going to be smaller, but the buying power is going to be higher, because you are not just teaching them English, you are helping them solve a problem. A lot of these people want to go and work abroad, or they want to work for companies that require them to have English. So they need specialized business English, legal English, real estate English, all of these examples. I keep saying the same examples, but literally any niche can be profitable for you, and literally anything can be a niche. There's thousands of them. So this will also set you apart from your competition, set you apart in terms of the fact that when they come to, say, for a freelance platform and they're looking through different teachers, who they're going to choose. If you offer just general English lessons and they want to do exam preparation, you can help them, yes, but if they see a teacher that specializes in the exam that they want to take, that's going to set you apart and they'll choose you above the other teacher. This also helps you build a long-term career. So you can really start building up a student base and then later on through referrals, if you do your job properly and the students keep coming back, they'll refer other students to you. You can start building programs and selling those, start doing group classes. A lot of times you just start with one-on-one lessons. You can start adding more students to your classes as soon as you start developing a program later on in life. So if you've got, you use the first couple of students to start building up your experience and your materials, and then you develop programs and add more and more students to that, and therefore increasing the amount you can make per hour. Some other niches could include business English, special needs. We've had a lot of teachers that come through that have previous education experience, especially with special needs children. Now, there's the general English to just every kid on the block, that to teaching children in general, but special needs is a very particular niche that parents are looking for teachers, and there's very few teachers who can actually fill that need. So if you are one of those, that's something you can look into. Like I said, experience from your previous or current careers. And exam preparation is another big niche, especially now with COVID hitting. A lot of people are having trouble finding work, and they need to start looking abroad or at companies that are based abroad. And to be able to get into universities abroad, and they need to prove that they have a level of English that is sufficient in these countries and for these companies, all right? So a lot of these places will require that they prove their level of English through exams like IELTS or through Cambridge English Assessment or TOEFL. There's a 3 or 4 of these big names out there that are internationally recognized. And that's something that we focus on as well at eTEFL Online. So we've developed an IELTS course. So IELTS is one of these exams, the International English Testing System. So over 3 million candidates take these exams every year. So there's a massive demand for specialized teachers in this area. And we include this training now in all of our online teacher training bundles. So it's one thing to say to somebody, oh, get a niche. And then, what is your niche? How do you choose it? So what we've done is we've prepared a course to teach you and prepared a niche, one that we know is very popular and that can have a good income for you. And we've included it in all the bundles. So how can eTEFL online teacher training help you? Well, we provide the teacher training courses themselves, the TEFL or TESOL. We also provide the IELTS, like I mentioned. We also include the resources that you're going to need. So resume resources to create that, your introduction videos, your cover letters, the profiles that you're going to need to be freelancer. How do you set that all up? We include the mentorship program as now that Zander is also going to speak about in a moment. And then, of course, the ongoing support. And this is what differentiates us from other providers that you may have seen online promoting TEFL courses, for example. So we're not a TEFL course provider. What we do is we include the TEFL course, but we are really here to support and train you and train online teachers specifically. So while our TEFL and TESOL courses can be used to go teach abroad later on, everything else, the resources, the mentorship, and the ongoing support, that is all geared at teaching English online specifically. I just wanted to take this opportunity as well to introduce a couple of faces here that you may not know, because it's always good to see that there is actually a team of human beings behind an online service like this. In the top left here, we have Dr. Daniel Portman. Now, he has a doctorate in education, and he is the one that created our TEFL and TESOL courses for us, and he is the course manager. So he has been training teachers as well for over 22 years, very experienced in his field. Below him is Lorne Dixon. Now, he is the practicum coach and also the tutor for the TEFL courses. Lorne has a master's degree and also has been training ESL teachers, specifically the English as a second language teachers, for over 20 years. He lives in Thailand. Up in the middle there is me. You already know me. Below is Roxanne. She's our IELTS head of department. She's a previous eTEFL online graduate as well, who went off and developed herself as an IELTS specialization teacher, and then has helped us create the course that is included in the bundles itself. Then on the top right is Zander, who you will get to know in a bit more. And in the bottom right there is Christina from our online school partner based here in Spain. She is the one that will be helping you in the practicum section of our TEFL courses. If you choose to do that 140-hour course, we include a practical section where you will teach real ESL students. So her school will provide the students and the platforms and the scheduling and all the materials. So if you do decide to do the practicum as well, this is the person you'll be speaking to a lot. All right, I just wanted to break down what is included. The TEFL certification courses, for example, in both our 120-hour and 140-hour courses, you will learn how to teach a new language. Very important, even if you have some teaching experience or a teaching degree, which Roxanne, for example, does. There are skills in a TEFL course that are not included in everyday education courses because a new language is very specific. We'll teach you how to teach grammar, speaking, listening, reading, writing, and develop all of those skills in your students. How to create effective lesson plans. This cannot be overlooked, all right? An effective lesson plan really helps you and your student develop and progress. So if you can create a lesson and plan something out, you can not only anticipate what's going to happen and what questions your student will have, but you'll have a clear goal at the end. And then, of course, how to test and evaluate your students' progress. How do you test your students? Are they retaining that information? And how to evaluate them and track their progress and see how they are improving and show that to them as well, to come back to them and show them that, look, you are getting better. In the 140-hour, like I mentioned, you also have the chance to teach 10 30-minute practice classes with real students in the 20-hour practicum. So in this practicum as well, the first part, you will observe teachers in classroom and online environments, and you'll reflect on those. Then you'll meet with your coach, who will prepare you for your first class, tell you who your student is going to be and what your lesson plan will be for that class, so that when you go into that first class, you are prepared, you know how to use the software, you know how to use the slides, and you know who and what you're going to be teaching. And then you'll go through the process of the 10 30-minute classes. Your coach will observe you as well in one of those classes and give you feedback. And then at the end of the program, the online school will give you a letter of recommendation to use in your applications. And we will give you an accredited practicum certification as well. So the resources that we include, things like resume and CV templates, introduction video templates, keywords that you can use to create those, Freelance profiles, how do you create that? How do you create a LinkedIn profile? LinkedIn, if you don't have one of those accounts yet, it is kind of like Facebook, but for business people. Nobody's sharing pictures of their cats. It's very business and professional orientated. And if you want to go freelance and get your own professional, high-paying students, that is the place that you're going to go find them in. Interview coaching and freelance strategy, that's something that Zander will cover in the mentorship program. And all of these will be included either in the PATH program or the mentorship program. The PATH program is all the templates and all the tips and the tricks and the keywords and everything that I spoke about. And then Zander will show you how to combine all of that together with the TEFL course so that you can have a productive and successful career. So jumping into that mentorship program. So how do you prepare your resume? How do you do your cover letters, your introduction videos? How do you apply for jobs? How do you get those interviews? So there's a lot of questions you have after you do a TEFL course and after you're certified to teach. Where do you go? What do you do next? And how do you get your own private students? And how do you make sure that they keep booking classes with you? This is something that Zander has developed over his 7 or 8 months now teaching English online. He's been extraordinarily successful and quickly at it as well. So we've developed this program together so that he can show you everything that he went through, and also so that you don't have to make the same mistakes and lose the time that he lost in trying to get everything set up, so we can get you up and running as fast as possible. I'm going to hand you over to Zander now, who's going to explain the program just a little bit better. Zander?
Thank you very much, Jody. And yeah, guys, this is really something that I'm very passionate about. And as Jody mentioned, we've recently launched this mentorship program. And this was really birthed out of a place where it seemed to me that a lot of up-and-coming teachers are finishing their TEFL certification, and there seems to be a void between being a qualified teacher and actually being an employed teacher working and earning money. And I guess my passion would be to help up-and-coming teachers not to have to wait 2 or 3 months before you teach your first class or before you start earning money with your qualification, but really breaking that down into, I would even say, 2 or 3 weeks before you start earning money, from the day that you complete your TEFL certificate to your first class, really minimizing and bridging that gap for you. And that's really where the mentorship program was born. And so I always like to use the analogy of an incubator to explain the purpose of the mentorship program, where we want to take up and coming teachers, put them in a sort of an incubator, giving them the resources, the expertise, the connections that they need to make a significant success out of their online teaching careers. And if I can just add to what Jody has said, I decided to make the career change at the end of last year. And so I finished my TEFL certificate at the end of December, and it took me literally 4 months to build up or basically to replace the income that I was earning at my previous job. So I guess a big part of the motivation for doing this is hearing stories of success. And guys, I want to tell you, if you're willing to work hard, put in the hours, and use the resources that eTEFL Online offer, it's possible, and it's even more than possible, I want to say. And so basically what this program entails is it's broken up into 7 one-hour sessions that will be delivered on Zoom in a smaller group, to ensure that each person receives enough individual attention and that individual advice is being given to your unique situation, and looking at your motivation and your goals that you want to reach through online teaching. Each session will cover a specific aspect of your TEFL journey, and you will have action points to complete on your own between each session. And these are really the determining factors. This can make or break you. Whether you implement what we're giving you in this program will really determine the amount of success that you will have. And so let's quickly look at an overview of what the sessions will actually consist of. So session 1, we'd start with introductions, giving you an idea of exactly the content that you will encounter in this mentorship program.
Gini, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear. All right. So as I was saying, probably the biggest focus for us in session 1 is asking the question of why. What is your motivation for wanting to get into online ESL teaching, as that would serve as a significant motivator, not only throughout the mentorship program, but also as you're building your career and building a sustainable income for yourself. Session 2 would basically be what we call production week. This is where we guide and assist you to create really appealing videos, whether for companies or for private students, so that people go, I want to have class with this person. And really, all of these things are aimed at putting you at the top of the pile in terms of your applications or listing yourselves on online platforms as a private tutor. Session number 3 would be focused on resumes and interview preparation, where we want to help you put together a very unique and appealing resume that, again, would put you at the top of the pile when you're applying either for schools or listing yourself as a private tutor. We also recreate an interview environment in this session, where we actually take you through what a real interview would look like and give you very, very constructive criticism to improve your interview ability, so that when you actually step into a real life interview situation, that you will ace that 9 out of 10 times. All right. Session number 4 is what we call application week. This is where we send your CV or your resume far and wide. We help you to list yourself as a private tutor on all of the platforms to maximize your chances of getting employed or getting hired by a student looking for a tutor. We will also be connecting you and linking you with some of the recruiters for the major schools that are actively hiring tutors to enhance and improve your chances of landing a job as soon as possible. Then session number 5 would be teaching children. Now, for this session, some of you may or may not be very excited, but the reality, I think, for many online tutors is the fact that you might start off teaching children to gain some experience, to build an income, and the industry for teaching children is really, really massive internationally. So I think if you want to start earning money quickly, a good place to start is teaching children. But again, Jody and I are very passionate about the fact that in this, you need to diversify. So session 6 and 7 would help you do exactly that. All right. It would help you to set up your own teaching business where you recruit students that take class specifically with you. We will look at things like the ability to sell yourself, what your profile looks like, focusing on what your niche is, developing that niche or creating a niche if you don't yet have an existing one. And then session 7 would be focused on private students. How do I ensure if a private student books a trial class with me, how do I guarantee myself that I'll convert that to a long-term student who will continue taking classes with me for months, if not years. All right, so all of the resources that we'll be giving you throughout this course has been proven quite a few times. It's been proven in my own experience over and over again, up until the point where currently I have about 25 active private students, and we've also done one run through of this mentorship program with a group, and we're hearing stories of great successes from that group as well. So basically, this would be the end of the intensive section, the 3-week section of this course. After that, a month after you finish session 7, we'd have a catch up, basically just hearing, is everyone okay? Any questions, anything that you feel like you need? And we'll also just give you some information on how to maximize your income in exploring other avenues of income for being an online teacher. Then a month after that session would be our final check-in session to just go, is everyone okay? Anything you need? Make sure that you keep developing yourself and send you off on your way to make a success of your career in online teaching. So that's basically a quick overview of the mentorship program. I'm really looking forward to seeing many of you there. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Zander. All right, so you can see here, I've just put together a little collage of previous students that have gone through the program. And yeah, as you can see subtly at the bottom there, we're just waiting for you. Now, this is something that we're really, really excited about. This is what has been missing from every single TEFL course or teacher training program out there, is this final touch and this mentorship. All right. And normally, if you do find it, it's not up to standard and very, very expensive, but we're going to include it in all of our bundles. So you can have it with whether you want to use it or not, but we really recommend that you do. All right, so I just wanted to talk about the process a little bit. So getting started, there are really literally only 5 steps. You enroll in one of our online teacher bundles. You complete your teacher training. We start the mentorship program. It is important that you have already finished the TEFL or TESOL course. So if you sign up today, for example, by the time you're finished, that is when we want you to start the mentorship program. It'll start on the 1st of every month, unless that's, of course, a weekend or something. Like, for example, August, we start on the 2nd in that case. but you need to have completed the teacher training program. Then we go through the mentorship program, which is about 3 weeks, 2 sessions a week. And then you can complete your IELTS course as well to help you develop your niche, unless you have another niche. Look, the IELTS course as well is optional, but included and highly recommended. If you put that on your profiles, especially your freelance profiles, you are going to open up a whole bunch of new doors to new possibilities, all right? And then you can start teaching English online. So over here, we've made a little graphic of how it all works. At the start, the enrollment is done through our website, where you can choose between either the standard or the advanced bundles. So we have either a 120-hour TEFL or the 140-hour TEFL. So the 120-hour is the international standard. The 140-hour includes that extra 20-hour online teaching practicum that we mentioned beforehand. So once you've completed that, anything between 4 to 8 weeks is the average. I've seen people complete the 120-hour in 2 weeks, depending on how much time you can dedicate to it. There is a process where you will need to do assignments and essays and hand those into your tutor for evaluation. So that will make the process a bit longer, but that's on our end, not on yours. Then after that, we jump straight into the mentorship program and start prepping all of those things that Zander spoke about, and getting your profiles up and running and practicing for your interviews and getting interviews. And then your IELTS preparation course can be done then afterwards or before, if you're one of those people who can do a TEFL course and an IELTS course at the same time before you do the mentorship program. That's great, but you don't have to have completed the IELTS before the mentorship program, not like in the case of the TEFL. And then we can start helping you launch your new career online. So I did say at the beginning that if you stay until the end, there will be a little something for you. And this is what I was talking about. For today's session, we're going to give away a free headset to anyone enrolling today. It is, in fact, the headset that I am wearing right now. So you can listen to how it sounds and see how it fits on everything. It's very comfortable, very light. I'm very happy with this purchase. So all you need to do is type in the word webinar in the additional comments section of the enrollment page. So if you go to the website, eteflonline.com, and choose one of the bundles, then when you go in to put your name and your details, there's a little box there that you can just type webinar in there, and then I'll know that you were on here. For the people that are watching this recording, I know some people couldn't make it to the live session today. We will also honor that this headset, this giveaway for you as well. So there are 2 bundles to choose from. Like I said, the standard that includes the 120-hour and the advanced, which includes the 140-hour. To people that are on this webinar who perhaps already have a TEFL certificate, you can also contact us and we can put together a custom bundle for you, including the IELTS, including the practicum, for example, if your TEFL training didn't include that, and the mentorship program with Zander as well. So let us know. It's support@eteflonline.com, or you can go to the website and contact us from there. And then we can put something together for you as well. We don't want you to feel left out, all right? So then you just choose one of those bundles. The website is eteflonline.com, online teacher bundles. And we're going to open up the floor now to any questions that people may have. I see that there was someone in the chat. Will there be a recording available? Yes, there will. All right, so that's the first question answered.
Can I ask something verbally?
Yes, go for it.
How has COVID affected the training program?
Has not affected our training program at all.
Fantastic, thank you.
We all work online. Like I said, I showed you the team earlier. We all work online from all different parts of the world, so it hasn't changed how we produce the programs at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If anybody has any other questions, so we've got some coming up in the chat box. Well, let me open this a bit bigger. Alison, I'd like to enroll for the practicum course. The practicum course is also self-paced. We try and make them fit in around your schedule. So the first part of the practicum course is self-paced. You take that whenever you can. You log in when you have the time. Then once we go to the practicum classes, you can contact the online school and you give them your availability. And then we try and match the student availability to yours. Now, of course, the wider and more your availability is for that, the sooner you'll be completed. If you have limited availability, the longer that's going to take. And no, you don't have to do the the mentorship program concurrently with that. Then Kirsty over here, just to be clear, the courses include theory, exams, tests, as well as practicals. Yes, they do. The 140 hour is exactly the same as the 120 hour. That section is the same, the first 120 hours, and then an extra practical at the end. So if you take the 120, there is no practical, just the exams and tests. And then the 140 will be the exams, tests, and the practical at the end. We have another message here. Do I have to start the eTEFL training immediately after purchasing a bundle? You don't have to. You can work at your own pace, but there is a limit. So the 120 hour has an access limit of 6 months, and the 140 hour has an access limit of 12 months. So 6 months for the 120 and 6 months for the practical. So there is a limit in which you need to complete it. But like I said, most people do it in 4 to 8 weeks. The 6 months and the 12-month periods are more than enough time. So if you want to take a couple of weeks or a couple of days, I don't know what your intentions are before you begin, you can. I have no teaching experience at all. No, that will not be a problem. That is exactly why we started eTEFL Online, is to train new teachers. This is what we do. All right, that's why we've put together that team of Daniel and Lorne and myself and Zander to specifically train new teachers. So if you have no teaching experience at all, then I would recommend the advanced bundle with that extra 20-hour so that you can have that practical teaching experience. Say you've been in a classroom, and that letter of recommendation that'll come in very handy when you're applying for jobs, and also when you are creating freelance profiles to show that you have taught and you have experience teaching people online. How much does the 120-hour and 140-hour cost? Well, it doesn't say from whom or where you are, but we have prices in South African rands and we have prices in euros. So in South African rands, it is 3,990 for the standard bundle. From SA, okay. And 4,990 for the advanced bundle. There's a payment plan as well that you can choose from. You can pay a 50% down payment and then 2 more monthly payments after that. And all of that is on the website as well. Let me just type the website address in the chat box as well. And then you could just click there and go and see the prices and all the inclusions for yourself as well. All enrollments are done through the website as well. All right. So underneath every option, there's a little button that says enroll. Simply click there, fill in your details. Don't forget to type the word webinar in the additional comments section so we can send you your free headset. This I thought was a great addition as well, the headset, because we really, really want to give you everything you need to start your career off on the right foot. Somebody is on the website. I don't see the prices. If you go to online teacher bundles, there's a tab at the top that says courses, and there's a drop-down box underneath that, and it's got several options. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different packages and the prices therefore. There's also, if you're looking for just, all right, I think this message is from Alison. Yeah, Alison, I think if you wanted to have the practicum with the mentorship program together, I will need to send you a special link for that. What type of computer would be good other than having a webcam? All right, good question. For your computer, you would need at least an i5 processor. If you work with AMD, that's a Ryzen 5. Something similar along those lines. Zander, you are the man with the Apple computer. What would be the equivalent of that?
Wow, I would agree. I think i5 at least 4 gig RAM, and as Jody mentioned in the beginning, at least a 720p built-in camera. Or if you don't have a 720 built-in, you can always just purchase an external camera, which would have the same capability. So yeah, I think those are the biggest things that they actually run tests for, checking your processor, your memory, and your camera.
Yeah. All right. So that's another thing. When you work for online schools, during that first interview, they will ask you to run a speed test, and they have the software there and ask you to test to check all of those things are in in order before you begin. Now, also to mention that there's a big difference between a 4th generation i5 and the latest 10th generation i5. So I'd say anything after 7th generation would be fast enough, because 2000 gigahertz is also one of the speeds you need to look out for. So anything over 2000 gigahertz, i5, and 4 gigs of RAM. And of course, if you can get something better than that and you have the budget to do so, then do that. All right. Your internet speeds as well. There's a website. I'll type it in the box as well. speedtest.net. All of this as well is on our website under Teach English Online. There's a page on our website that explains everything. It shows you all the hardware and software requirements, and this link for speedtest.net. So you're looking for at least 10 megabits per second download and 1 to 5 in the upload speeds. Most fiber optics, if you can get that, are now the same up as down. So if it's 10 download, it's 10 upload. And it depends on where you are in the world, what your speeds are. Here, for example, where we're based in Spain, my connection's 500 megabits up and down. So where you are in the world makes a big difference. But if you can get 10.10 or 10.5, you're right. So for the online schools, they'll be stricter with that. Obviously, they have system requirements. But if you've got your own private students, then if you can hold a class uninterrupted, that is what you need. That would be sufficient, that speed. Anybody else got any questions?
Jody, there is another one posted by Kirsty in the
All right, let me
chat.
open up. With regards to getting students after taking the course, would you facilitate the process, meaning getting the interviews lined up for us, or is that for us to do? No, that's part of the mentorship process. When it comes to getting students, you're not going to get students through interviews. The interviews are for you to get jobs with the online schools. They will deal with the students. That's their side of the bargain, right? They provide the students, they provide the platform, they provide everything. You just show up on time and teach your class. All right. When it comes to getting your own private students, yes, that is definitely part of the mentorship program, and something about diversification that both Zander and I feel strongly about is start from the beginning, having your fingers in as many pies as possible. All right. So getting set up on the freelance side of things, yes, Zander will show you exactly where to go, how to do it. You will show you with the Path program resources how to create those profiles and make them attractive. And then you guys during the mentorship program will evaluate each other's profiles and get feedback from Zander, so that you can post something there that is going to be attractive to getting your own private students. All right. We got any further questions? Alison, you're most welcome, Alison. Any other questions? Otherwise, we will leave you. We know that it is Friday afternoon, perhaps Friday morning to some people in the world. But for most that have joined us today in the same time zone that we are, we have one more. You're welcome, Pepe. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for taking your time. And to the people that are watching this recording, thank you for watching the recording. If anybody has any questions, you can contact support. I'll type it in here as well, at eteflonline.com, or contact me directly at jody@eteflonline.com. Okay. And if you have any questions that you realize afterwards that you said, should have said it on the webinar, you can just shoot it to those email addresses as well. If you don't remember them, just go to the website. There's a contact us button there, and you can send an email through there. There's also a pop-up that'll come at the bottom where you can book a call with a consultant, and then we will phone you back on the number that you leave there and have a chat and explain it to you again if you have any other further questions. All right. Zander, thank you very much for your time on this lovely Friday afternoon, where it's warm apparently everywhere in the world. Not by you. It's not where Zander is.
Not warm enough. It's
Okay.
not Spanish summer weather, so not yet.
No, I'm going to go turn on the aircon now. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for your time,
Thanks,
and
everyone.
enjoy your weekend.